Hey, everybody. It's Tuesday night, 7:02. Guess what? That means that it's time to grandstand with Mother Theresa. Listen, grab your favorite snack, your favorite beverage, and join me. Also, call a friend, call someone, let them know that, hey, they might want to tune in tonight. They might want to tune in. We're going to talk about the holiday season. All right, everybody. All right, I see some people joining in. Hey, everybody. It's Mother Theresa here. How is everyone doing on this Tuesday night, 7:03? It is time to grandstand. And this is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So guess what? I know a lot of people are busy. They're trying to get that turkey done. They're trying to get all of the good trimmings that go along with traditional Thanksgiving meals. And then, of course, some of us and some of you all are just saying, you know what, we're not going to have that traditional Thanksgiving meal. We're going to do something different. We're going to do something less stressful. We're going to do something or try something new. Whatever you decide to do, I just hope that you are experiencing Thanksgiving Day with your family, your friends, your loved ones. Some are going to be with strangers who you've invited to your home, or you're going to shelters, or you're going to different places, and you're going to be doing lots of things on this Thanksgiving. And so, because we are doing lots of things on this Thanksgiving, listen, you all, I wanted to talk to you all about, the holidays, and sometimes how the holidays can just, it could be such a joy for some, and it could be not so joyous for other people. And I want to talk a little bit about that on tonight. I'm looking at my laptop, my desktop, and I was reminded of something that Amber Sanders posted on Facebook. And I did respond to her. But one of the things that, and this is what is prompting me to talk about what I'm going to talk about on tonight, she asked the question. She said she was curious to know, how did the older generation deal with anxiety, depression, just different things like that? Did we deal with those things? Did we have those things? How did we manage? How did we manage? Because so many people, not only during the holiday seasons, is feeling the effects, but you all, life, people say this, and I really understand when they say life is lifing. And I had not heard that term probably maybe just the last year or so. But it really just describes how people are really going through with so many things, you all. And the things that people are going through, it may seem like it's little to you, but guess what? Some people, it is just absolutely unbearable. And when you're going through, when you're having to deal with all of these things, you all, sometimes, like I said, life can be it can be so painful, that what I have talked to my husband about in the last couple of days is that some people are voluntarily checking themselves out. And you all know what I mean by that. And so I wanted to give you all a little bit of information about seasonal affective disorder. It's called SAD. And so I'm going to talk to you all a little bit about that. And then I'm going to ask you all to join in with me, because guess what? I am not the only person who may be having some feelings like this. You may not be the only person that is having feelings like this. That's right, Tina. Thank you for putting her name in there. And my daughter said, hello, grandstanders. Hello, everybody that's on here on tonight. Well, listen, you all, let me just say this. You know, and I was talking to my mom the other day, and we were just saying how, and I'm listen, I've talked to so many different people about this the last couple of days. I may get it wrong with the person that I have had conversations with, but I've had so many conversations the last couple of days because it is just overwhelmingly what I'm seeing in social media. And so we know that during the holiday seasons, there are many different reasons why sometimes people have a difficult time. Sometimes they're having difficult times because the loved ones that were there, they're missing some of their loved ones, whether it's by death, and a lot of it is because of death. They're no longer there. But other times it's because maybe the person could be incarcerated, the person could be in another state and they can't get here, or they're working. They could be in the same city that you're in, but because they're working, they cannot come to, like the family gathering and have, a traditional Thanksgiving gathering with the family. So it's many different reasons. Here's another reason. There may be strife in the family. There may be conflict in the family. Sometimes that conflict has gone on for so long that it has just kind of made it put a damper on the holidays. And then there are other reasons that people may not choose to gather with their family. Maybe they're dealing with some mental health issues. Okay. Maybe not mental health, but some are. And then some are just sick. They're just, the flu has been going around. What I'm trying to say, you all, is that there are several different reasons why people may not be able to gather the way that they used to. And because of that, it puts a damper on the holiday spirit. It kind of puts you in a place where it's like, oh, I don't even feel like celebrating. I don't even feel like getting together. I don't even feel like putting on my clothes and just driving across town. I don't feel like it. I just don't feel like it. And you all, I'm going to tell you that there is some psychology behind that. And one of the things that I will let you know is that when this time changes, and it does about the same time every year, it's nothing new. But when we are forced to be inside for certain amounts of time, when we're not getting outside like we used to, the days are shorter or longer, as the seasons are changing. But one of the things that I will tell you, when your body is not getting enough sunshine, it causes you to feel, like people say, some type of way. And a lot of times you don't even realize that that's what's going on. The sun is not out as long as it normally is, so you're not getting a lot of sunlight. The weather starts to look a little bit different. A lot of the dreary days when it's raining a lot, when it's just foggy and it's just kind of looking just blah, that has an effect on you psychologically. And so you may just kind of think, every time about this same time of the year, why do I start feeling like this? Well, these are some of the reasons why. And then another reason I would tell you is that we put so much pressure on ourselves to make our holidays, I like to call them Hallmark holidays. And let me just tell you, the Hallmark holidays, they are scripted. They have many people to come and set those things up. It's a television show. It's scripted. It's not real. And so what we try to do is we try to emulate what we're seeing on TV. Or for a lot of us, we are watching YouTube videos or TikTok videos, Instagram videos, all YouTube videos, and we see these perfect homes. We see the Christmas trees, and we see um, the porches decorated for Thanksgiving. We see just all of these beautiful things that everything is in place. Everything is in place. And you look at that, and then you start looking around your own house, and you start saying, wait a minute, what's going on back here? Why this doesn't look like what I saw on social media, on one of my favorite designers or my favorite content creators? Why does my house not look like her house? Why does her house look so well put together? Well, let me tell you, you all can answer that. You can put it in the chat. You know exactly why it looks like that, because it's scripted. And I have shared with you all many times before that we will take 100 pictures of ourselves to get just one, to get that one shot that we think is the absolute best shot. And that's what we share. We don't share what it looks like behind the scenes. What you're seeing right now, you see the background of my bookshelf, that it's kind of messy but organized. But if I turn the camera around, you will see all of the lights. You would see my desk that have books all across my desk. You would see chairs. You would see different things that's in this room that I don't necessarily want you to see. So therefore, I'm not going to show it to you. That's the same way that people do on social media. And what I'm wanting you all to understand is that stop judging yourself. Stop judging your household, your family, what you're trying to do on what you're seeing on social media. My topic was a gentle mental health check-in before the holidays. And I put out something after I saw Amber's post, and I shared with Amber, that yes, during us as the older generation, and I know my mom is on here. Hey, mama. We went through things. We have went through some of the same exact things that the younger people are going through now. I've been a single mama. I've been a mom who is working a full-time job, been in school full-time, been heavily involved in the church. Every time the church doors open, me and my family were probably there, having several roles in the church that meant I was very, very busy, in addition to being a young wife, trying to learn how to be a wife, trying to learn how to be a mother, trying to learn how to do so many different things. And guess what? All the time while I'm doing this, I didn't go to therapy. I didn't go a lot of times to my mom and was saying, Mom, this is happening. I need some advice. I needed this. I didn't go to my pastor. I didn't go to the first lady. I didn't go to my sisters. I didn't go to anybody. And so many of us, and this is what I'm talking about in the answering Amber's question, we just make it work. We pray. And some of you all did say, yes, the saints or the people of old, the older generation, we prayed about everything. We prayed about it. We took it to the Lord and we left it there and we kept it moving. I did say, yes, there may have been tears. There may have been, lots of crying. There may have been a lot of different things going on, but we kept it moving because we could not give up. We could not give up because we had people depending on us. We had children. We had a husband. We had family members that were depending on us to do the things that we knew that we had to do. So we couldn't play hooky. We couldn't stay at home and have a pity party. We couldn't do those things. We couldn't just check out and say, you know what, I'm tired of all of this. Well, I guess we could have. We most definitely could have done that, but we didn't. You know, a lot of the people my age and my mom's age, we knew what our responsibilities and our roles were. The men, the women, and we just did what we had to do. Were we stronger back then? Were we of a different breed back then? I don't know. I just know that I had to do things that I knew that that needed to be done in order for me to keep my head above water. And so we did that. And so, and as the holidays, and I want to make sure that I keep it focused on the holidays, is that a lot of times when the holidays are up on us, and we have 2 days until it's Thanksgiving. And so what happens is we begin to try to make everything perfect. And I have shared with you all. There are no I don't know what perfection is. Okay? I know that I strive for it, but I'm not at that point. Candace said the saints of old likely needed the assistance of medication too, though. I'm grateful for the strides we've made advocating for mental health. Absolutely correct. Absolutely. You know, as a mental health provider, as a licensed and degreed mental health provider, this is my work. So I definitely advocate for that because, you know, I definitely believe that there is nothing wrong with praying to God and asking God for his guidance and for deliverance and for him to heal us from the things that's going on. But until then, you all, guess what? Get you a therapist, get you a good therapist, and if you need some medication, get you some medication. It works wonders. Okay, it works wonders. And let me just tell you, now some of the saints of old and some of the people of old, they've been taking medication. They've been medicating, whether it was self-medicating or it was actually medication from the doctor. You know, when I was growing up, it was, I think the medication was, and Mama, you might would have to help me. The medication that people used to take, it wasn't Xanax. Oh, what was it called? Oh my goodness, it was at the tip of my tongue. But the people, that's what the people were taking. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't even think of the name. But it's an old medication. But that's what people were taking. Some of y'all young people have to Google it real quick and find out what the medication of old that people used to take. And I'm telling you, this is what people took as their medication to help keep them calm, to kind of help keep them from losing it. And so, yes, they were taking medication back then. And I'm just going to be honest. Somebody said in the statement that in the post that Amber had posted is that they was probably smoking some illegal substances. Yes, they were probably doing that. And yes, they're still doing that. People were doing what they had to do in order to survive. And again, like I said, as a mental health professional, I am telling you all that if that is what you need, there is no shame. We are all about removing the stigma as it relates to mental health and mental illness. You know, there are so many people that that absolutely need to be seeing a psychiatrist, need to be seeing a counselor, need to be barbiturates. No, that's not it. It's another one. It's what a lot of people used to take back in probably the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Is it Vicodin? Vicodin? Oh my goodness. Vicodin may be one of them. But anyway, um, what I was saying is that there are people who need to have clinicians, people who need to have therapists. But because of the stigma that is attached to mental health, a lot of times people will not seek the services of a mental health provider. And when it gets to the point to where you are so far gone, Valium, that is it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Valium, that's what they were taking. Um, and I guess the Valium was probably the same thing, maybe Is it the same as Xanax? I don't know. But yes, Valium is what they were taking. But you know, here's what's happening. And I shared with Amber that one of the reasons why I created Soul Notes, and yes, this is a little bit about Soul Notes as well. But one of the reasons why I created Soul Notes is really when my daughter, Knit, wrote her book, I realized and I learned a lot of different things. And I knew my daughter was suffering and I knew she was going through some things, but I did not know to the degree of what she was suffering through. And so, and I have been very strategic and very mindful and very intentional about Soul Notes because I feel like, hey, if I can just spread a little bit of hope, a little bit of joy, a little bit of hope to the people every single day, in the morning time, in the morning, because that's when you really, really need that word. You know, when you start doing research and you start doing the psychology behind in the morning, commanding your morning and setting the tone for your day, research shows that in the morning, if you could get your mind right, then the rest of your day is probably going to go right as well. So when I hear about people who are checking out, or when I hear about different things that people are going through, and I often ask myself, and I will ask my husband, I say, you know what? I wonder if they would have had soul notes, would it have made a difference? I wonder if I could have given them a little bit of hope. I'm not saying it would have stopped it, but you all, it could. How many of you all, if you had somebody or something that dropped in your spirit or in your cell phone or your email or phone call or something every single morning that gave you a sense of hope, like you can do it? It may be a rough day, but hang on in there. Things may not look good. Things may not be good. Things may not feel good, but hang in there. Because, see, sometimes all a person needs is a word of encouragement. All a person needs is for somebody to tell them to hang in there. Don't let go. Yes, Sister Henderson told us years ago, tie a knot in your rope and hang on. Okay? Tie a knot. When we were hanging on by a thread, put a knot in that thread. Put a knot in it and hang on in there. Because guess what? People are depending upon you. People are depending on you to come through. Thank you for those hearts. People are depending on you. And guess what? So many times our breakthrough is right around the corner and we give up too soon because we've gotten tired and we've gotten frustrated and oh, we've just gotten tired. We've gotten tired of going through. We've gotten tired of everything that's going on. When your money is funny, when, you know, things are just going on, and, you know, money has a whole lot to do with it, you all. Because when we don't have enough money to feed our children, we were just watching a news story just before I came in here, and it's talking about food insecurities. It's talking about the lack of food. It's talking about the, you know, everything that's going on in our society right now where people are struggling because they can't feed their children. And you know, what she said is that when it really hurts her as a mom to have to tell her child that they can only have like one serving because they're having to ration out their food. Okay. And so many things, you all, is happening in our lives. But I want you all to understand that as we continue to go through these dark days, you know, tired of being in the red, tired of being tired. Yes, Ned. And you know what? We are tired of being tired. But I'm going to tell you what I was reading in my Bible study the last couple of days is that sometimes when we are tired of being tired, that's really where God wants us, you all. Because you know what? A lot of times, the really rough days are behind us. You know, we've been through it. We've went through a whole lot of different things. We've passed some tests, we've failed some tests. But a lot of the things that we have been dealing with, we kind of recognize when it comes back up. We kind of recognize and say, "Hey, I recognize this. I have passed this test. I know what to do. I know how to get over this hurdle." And then it makes it a little bit easier. But I'm going to tell y'all, pray about everything. Every single thing. That's what the Bible tells us about praying and being consistent with prayer. Being consistent with everything, just putting it all at the feet of God, the feet of Jesus. And when we do that, you all, sometimes we've got to make sure not only are we putting it all out there, but we got to make sure we're putting it out there correctly. One thing that I learned years and years ago is that when we are praying, be very specific about what you're praying for. We may say, "Oh God, I need a car. Oh God, I need a house. Oh God, I need a job." Well, that is so very broad. You need to make sure that you are putting some clarity in there and saying, "God, I need a job that's offering this amount of money that's going to help me to be able to not only pay my bills, but be able to have some abundance where if I want to pay somebody else's bill." Now that's if that's what you want. I need a car, but I need a good, dependable car, a car that's affordable, a car that's going to get me back and forth. You know, all of those different things. Be very specific about what you're praying for. Because when God starts blessing you, guess what? If you just say, "Give me a job," okay, he can give you a job, but you're not going to like it. You know, he can give you a car, but it may break down on you every 2 days. He can give you a house, but it may, not have, adequate heat in it or whatever. So be very mindful of the things that you're praying for. Because when God starts answering, and he always answers you all, whether it's yes, no, or not yet, he always answers. And the thing that I would share with you is that, like Ned said, tired of being tired. I know we've all been there. You're not the only one. And sometimes the enemy would try to trick us, and I'm talking about mental health, and especially during the holidays. Sometimes the enemy will try to trick us and try to make us think that you're the only one going through this, that you're the only one in this whole entire world that is going through this, and you're not. I know it's happening to you, and I know that it hurts, and I know that it's like, okay, I'm ready for this phase to be over. I have been on this long journey. I have been on the scenic route. I've been through down this path. I've been down that path. I've seen all these different things, and God, you just been having me on this scenic route, and I haven't made it to my destination yet. And you're ready to get to the destination. But guess what? Life is about living, and life is about enjoying the destinations. You all, we can drive straight to a destination and get there. And sometimes it's like, wow, my husband and my husband was talking the other day, and we were watching a video, and it was in the mountains of Arizona. And he was like, "Honey, I think those are some of the same mountains that we saw." And I was like, yes, absolutely it was. Now, was it? It could be. It could not have been. But guess what? If we would have just drove straight to Arizona and not even looked out the windows, not even taken in all of God's beauty, we would have missed so many different things. That's the scenic route, you all. That's the scenic route. And like I said, some of us have been on the scenic route for a long time, and we're ready to get to the destination. But let me just tell you, sometimes when you get to the destination, it's like, what else is there to do? What else is there to do? So I want to enjoy. But I also want to be very careful, and want to be very mindful of my prayers that I am praying. And so listen, you all, I just want you all to know that, again, tonight was just kind of in response to a Facebook post. And it was a very good post because I look at it like this. If the younger people are asking, hey, older saints, older people, not just necessarily saints, but the older generation, help us out. Tell us how you did it. Tell us, did you experience these things? Because it feels like we're the only ones that's kind of going through. Or what has probably happened for a lot of people is that the people that were in your circle or that you were around, they made it look so easy, or they made it look like everything was always okay. You know, you didn't see the struggle as a young child. Maybe you didn't see the struggle, but the struggle was there. But they just had a different way of showing it and letting it be seen. So yes, the struggle has always been there. We've been through some things, and we're going to continue to go through some things. The things that we're going through at this age looks a little bit different than the things that my daughters are going through, and my son is going through, and even my grandchildren that are young adults. You know, but we still have some of the same challenges. It just may look different. It may present itself in a totally different way, but it's still some of the same things. So I want you all to be encouraged. I really do on tonight. I know that this is like I said, the weekend, couple of days before Thanksgiving. And I know that you all probably have great plans to be with your loved ones. But this is what I want to tell you all is as you're with your loved ones this week, on the next couple of days, and some of you all may already have guests that have arrived at your homes and everything like that. What I want you to do is be mindful of your conversations. Be mindful of how you have your conversations about the things that you're going through, because I believe that we're supposed to speak life into our situations. We don't always want to speak doom and gloom into the situations that we are currently in. And so as you begin to speak life over your situations, I just believe that you're going to see some changes in what you're going through. Start telling the Lord how much you're grateful for him bringing you out of those situations. Let the people know that's going to be gathered around your dining room table that, hey, life may have been a little bit difficult the last year, but I believe that things are looking up. I'm believing for a better 2026. Don't stay in this rut. Don't talk doom and gloom. Declare some things over your lives. I've been sharing with you all some declarations over the last year. So I want you all to start declaring some things. I want you all to choose the peace over the pressure, okay? Because some of us have had a lot of pressure in our lives. I want you all to choose grace over the guilt. I want you to breathe before you break down. My mantra is take care and breathe. Breathe before you break down, okay? And so I'm going to end tonight with just a little bit of a prayer. And I'm just going to say, Lord, quieten the minds of the people everywhere. Settle our hearts. Give us rest before the holiday rush. Surround every listener with peace that steadies hope, that strengthens, that comforts, and that carry us through this season. Listen, you all enjoy your Thanksgiving. You all don't eat too much. Don't overindulge. Don't do all of those things, okay? Because a lot of you all like me, you're trying to get it off. So don't overindulge. And you know what? Invite somebody to come and sit at your table. There are people out there, you all, that do not have any place to go. And we know that. You know, there are a lot of people that are trying to figure out how are they going to feed their kids for Thanksgiving. How are they going to be able to do those things? If you have extra, invite somebody to come. And guess what? If they can't come to your house, you know what? We got all of those takeout bowls. We got all of those things. Bag something up and find find a family that needs a little bit of help, a little bit of extra. Take it to them. Share. Not only this Thanksgiving, you all, but Christmas is coming right around the corner. And so I need you all to make sure that because guess what? This is what I believe. What you make happen for others, God will make happen for you. Okay? All right. Good night, everybody. And as my sister Cynthia says, good night, grandstanders, and we will see you all on the next time. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We love you all, and we appreciate you all being with you on tonight. You all, we look forward to talking to you all on next Monday night. Y'all make it a great one. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye, everybody.